You've given GATE multiple times now, and each time the result was not desirable. And there was very little improvement, or maybe no improvement, or worse, your performance is getting worse over time. So what should you be doing in that case? Whether you fail or succeed in GATE, you are still an engineer, right? So think like an engineer. You have a problem at hand. What should be the solution? What should you be doing? Now, this problem needs to be defined properly. That is the first step. In order to define properly, you need to understand why this is happening, the reason. All right, and only then can you actually understand what you have to do, what is the actual solution. So let's define the problem. From my interactions with a lot of students as well as my friends, I've come to understand that there are predominantly two reasons as to why someone is repeatedly failing in GATE. The very first reason is hurrying up. Now, what do I mean by hurrying up? When you are preparing for GATE, the very first question that comes into your mind, and the very first question that you keep asking people, your seniors or your teachers, is how much time will it take to crack GATE, right? And you will hear varied answers. Some will say it will take 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. And there is people would also say that you have to study engineering for 4 years properly, and then only you can imagine yourself giving GATE exam and succeeding in GATE. Out of these varied answers, which is the right answer? There is no right answer, right? You might be someone who needs only 6 months. 6 months is sufficient for you. Or you might be someone who needs 1 year, full 1 year. And you might be someone who needs 2 or 3 years. So if you are someone who needs, say, 2 or 3 years, and you have gotten stuck with the idea that GATE can be cracked in 6 months, then you will hurry up. You will try to complete everything in the 6 months, and that's where you're gonna actually lose the entire 6 months. So in the place of taking 2 years, it will take you 2.5 years, because that 6 months is getting wasted. So this is hurrying up. Now forget about the time. It will also affect your confidence. You think that you will be able to crack the exam in 6 months, but because you were not able to crack, your confidence takes a blow. So you are not at the 0 level, but you've gone down to the negative level. So this is the first reason. We'll talk about the solutions as well, don't worry. The second reason is not enjoying the process. Now when you write GATE, there is a motivation behind, right? Why do you want to write GATE? For some it may be because they want to prove it to themselves that they can crack GATE. For some it may be because of job, MTech. Or maybe just because you don't want to do anything else, so you're doing this, all right? Now, whatever may be the motivation, there should be one common thing. You should be able to enjoy at least a part of the process. If you are not someone who enjoys solving problems, if you're not someone who likes studying engineering, then this is going to be difficult for you, because this is how you're going to spend the next 1 year. You will often see that a lot of rankers become very passionate about engineering. That is because they actually like that process. During that preparation time, they are actually liking that process, and that's the reason they go to that level of cracking at a very top level, at a very top rank. So if this is not you, if this is not someone that is you cannot enjoy solving problems, you cannot enjoy reading the subject, then you're not going to crack. Trust me, you're not going to crack. However hard you work, however valid you think your motivation is, it's still not going to work if you are not someone who enjoys the process. So the first reason actually has a solution. You can do something about it. Whereas the second reason, that is not enjoying the process, it doesn't have a solution. The only solution is to actually let go GATE and figure out what is the thing that makes you happy, that you actually like doing, that you actually enjoy the entire process. So how do you solve this problem of hurrying up? First and foremost, you have to understand where you fall in the spectrum. 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or maybe more than that. All right? You don't need to know exactly. You don't need to set this exact time, that's 6 months only, 1 year only. But you need to have a rough idea of where you fall. So what are the factors that decide this is your 11th and 12th basics. How are your 11th and 12th basics? What was your engineering foundation like? What did you do in the 4 years of engineering? And how was your semester performance? And even if you don't have theoretical knowledge, do you have an understanding about your engineering? Practically, do you understand it? Okay, so there are a lot of reasons. Let me give you one example to make it more clear to you. When I was preparing for GATE, I was in a coaching center and the lecturer gave a problem to do. And this problem involved knowing 1 plus omega square is 0. Now, I knew it and I immediately applied it and I did the problem very fast. But for someone who was sitting next to me, he asked me as to how I remember this 1 plus omega square is 0. Alright? And that's when I understood that if you are not good with your 11th and 12th basics, then this background knowledge that is running in your mind, that's not gonna be there. Alright? So because that background knowledge was so easy for me, it was right on my fingertips, so I could just get it outside whenever I wanted it. But if you are not very well familiar with all these basic foundations and concepts, then you cannot expect to remember all of them right away, right? It takes time for you to get familiar, so that because exam needs familiarity. When you are solving a problem, you need the concept, the relevant concept, to come to your mind as fast as possible, and that needs familiarity. Alright, so this is one example to let you understand that it takes time. It does take time. Now, once you decide where you fall in the spectrum, then half of the problem is solved. The next half is to figure out the strategy. Now, the strategy, once again, it will differ from person to person. Alright. Now, if you are someone who needs only 6 months to 1 year, then I would recommend that you take coaching, because you have decided that this much time is enough for you, so you cannot afford to make mistakes. Alright. But you need to ensure that you have proper time for self-study as well. Alright. Now, if you need 2 or 3 years because your basics are not good or your electrical engineering concepts are not very good, then what you have to do is, I would strongly recommend that you either take 1 year of self-preparation first and then take coaching, or take coaching first and prepare on your own the next time. Okay, so this depends on your personality. You have to decide this by yourself. If you need 3 or more than that, I would recommend that you do it along with a job, a part-time job, or higher education, or maybe just do some extracurricular activity like learn a sport or something. Don't sit at home, because this tends to fog your mind and it will reduce your performance level. Alright. Now, if you find all of this very difficult to figure it out by yourself, then there is a paid counseling sessions that I do take. It is very affordable, don't worry. You can DM me on Instagram or Telegram preferably, and I will reach out to you with the details. That is all for this video. I hope I was able to clear at least some of your doubts, and if you did find the video helpful, then don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment.